Everyone, welcome to episode 193 of the Terminal City FC podcast, part of the Area 51 Sports Network. Josh Ray joined alongside Nathan Durek as per usual. We got a big show today, talking all things Vancouver Whitecaps and so much more. But first, we'll talk about, obviously, the game that happened on the weekend at BC Place. The Whitecaps are back to winning ways. A 3-0 win over Sporting Kansas City. Very good first half, kind of a sloppy second half, but in the end, a win is a win.
It was a very good first half. It was back to that flow that we've kind of come to expect. SKC came out flying for about the first 5-10 minutes. The game was definitely theirs. Whitecaps started to play themselves in, and they've done what they've done this entire season. Once they get that first goal, nothing stops them.
Whitecaps are undefeated when they score the first goal. Only one draw, and that was the game in San Diego. But other than that, all wins. And yeah, just watching that game, SKC looked terrible in that first half. Their entire game plan was pass to Daniel Shallowy and see what happens.
It was, they were insanely compact in that first half. They were built to just absorb pressure. I don't know if they were just hoping to poke holes, but they started to lose the space. And you talked about, being able to kind of target people on theirs. What was it? Brody, I think it was.
Yeah, Brody. Like, he was being cooked by Nelson.
He was. The thing is with Nelson is, for as much as he was getting license and getting the ball time and time again wide left, there wasn't anything coming into the box. As soon as he would get into the box, it was like there was a disconnect of what to do next. Now, it was a very weird game for Nelson because you can't say it wasn't a good game. It was a very good game.
It was a very good game. One of his best games.
He assisted on Sabi's goal. I think he had the secondary assist on one of the other goals too, I believe. You can check me on that. But it showed that when he's instinctual, he excels. When he has time on the ball, sometimes he does too much.
Yeah, like, decision-making is one of Nelson's downfalls. We've seen it this season. But when he has the ball, he has the space. And, not space, the pace and the creativity. We saw that on
pace, and he almost relies on his pace a little bit too much.
Yeah, and he pretty much, in a way, set up Sabi's the first goal.
Oh, he did. He
pretty much did.
The one touch that he had on the header I think it was Ngando that got the ball to him.
Yeah, it was Ngando, and then to Nelson, and then Sabi just poked it in.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a beautiful, beautiful passing goal. Sabi, I'll say it again. I was wrong.
We were wrong because we were criticizing him a few weeks ago, and now he's scoring goals.
His last, I was going month and a half. He almost had, I think, 2 months has been very, very good. And you know what that could be? It wasn't anything against him. It was a product of just getting back to match fitness after his injury. It took maybe a little bit longer than I was expecting or I was hoping, but he is at the top of his game right now.
Yeah, and he looks unrecognizable to me with that new hairstyle, with the whatever you call it, like the braids or whatever it is.
I'm not too up there on the names of hairstyles. I will defer to you.
Because when I was watching the game on Apple, I was like, "Who's that?" Oh yeah, it's Sabi.
Yeah, he's been a pleasure to watch. Nelson, I love watching him too. I want him to have a little bit more of that fluidity that we know that he has.
And I want him to, just sometimes just shoot or just don't overthink things.
Yeah,
I think that's a problem with him too. But yeah, he did set up the second goal, the secondary assist. Loose ball that eventually found its way to JC Ngando, and he put it past the SKC goalkeeper to make it 2-0.
Goalkeeper
also a very good game.
The ball was coming through traffic. I don't even think he saw it until it was probably
there's no way the goalkeeper was going to stop
that. And you know what we talked about? Sometimes you just need to shoot. This was Ngando. You just need to shoot.
I've been critical of him not shooting.
We got to talk to him at the end of the game. It was a pleasure talking to him because doesn't he come across as just so open and honest?
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I watched the presser on YouTube.
The one thing he
You're
talked
right.
about, we were talking about, like, what was the things that was kind of coming into his game? Because a few games ago, he was pulled. He didn't get back into the game. The Houston wasn't great. And Jesper was talking about it, saying, yeah, we kind of gave him a bit of a challenge, especially with Vitae gone. We need him to be part of that secondary line that's coming up. And, being able to get those balls that are just coming outside the box for those types of shots. We posed it to Ngando afterwards, and he said a lot of it was just having faith in himself. He's like, I felt like for a little while here, it was like almost I didn't belong, and I just needed to get over that and realize that no, I've been here a while now. I belong here. I'm supposed to be here, and just trust in my coaches and get going. And yeah, I think the goal probably for one is a big relief. I think it's the second goal of the season in MLS. And if he is going to be given that added responsibility of being a part of that second line, I think it is something that really, really suits him. There's going to be ups and downs in that. It's going to take a while to learn. Just look how long it took Vitae to become that player.
It took Vitae quite a long time.
Consistently part of that line. That's going to be Nkondo as well. But if he can have moments and build on those moments like he did against SKC, he's going to be a very exciting guy to watch.
You don't notice him until, he makes a mistake or does good things. But, he needs to, like kind of like Nelson, settle in, keep it simple. And, then good things could happen. And he has proven he has belonged.
The best 45. I think it's the best 45 I've ever seen from him.
Yeah, I have to agree 100%. He and Nelson were everywhere. Second half, Kubas had to be taken off due to apparently some groin pain, but it was just precautionary, nothing too serious, I assume. Plus the Whitecaps on a bye week, so there's some time for him to recover. A little some sloppiness. SKC started to get into the game. Some giveaways. The midfield was getting caved. Yoe Takaoka made some big saves off Dejan Joveljic and Daniel Shallowy. But in the end, Matias Laborda with that incredible jump off the corner kick made it 3-0.
Second phases of corner kicks, that's where Laborda seems to feed. He did it in the previous game. It ended up being an own goal, Dua, in that game.
Yeah.
But
they did in Houston too.
For a guy that doesn't have the greatest of height, he's got great awareness of where to be inside that box.
Yeah, the guy can jump.
I know. Wow, he just climbed. He was using the guy as a ladder.
Yeah, I'm like, almost like he was his own pogo stick. But
yeah, this is now 3 games undefeated off that slump. 2 wins and a draw. The draw against the top team in our conference. You gotta feel like the Whitecaps have turned the corner.
Yeah, and this break, well-deserved break. They played like 1,000 games since the season began. And yeah, the players are off golfing or surfing or whatever they do. Got time to recharge, reset, and next week prepare for the bigger stretch of the season. So yeah, that game against Sporting Kansas City, another clean sheet for Yohei Takaoka, his 11th of the season. That's the most in MLS still. Another impressive performance by him. Just all around a pretty good game, except for spells in the second half. But the Whitecaps took care of business against Sporting Kansas City. So once again, a week off, no games until the 9th of August. Can't you believe it's almost August? I know, like, time has really gone by fast.
I know.
And they will be in San Jose. But we have some more Whitecap stuff to talk about, and this is huge. This is big. Never beyond anyone's wildest dreams that follows the Whitecaps would have ever thought this would have happened. Bayern Munich and German legendary midfielder Thomas Muller is set to sign for the Vancouver Whitecaps. This started as a rumor uttered by Taylor Twellman at the MLS All-Star Game. And then Axel Schuster denied it on Sekeres and Price, which is something he does to the media.
Yep.
I took that with a grain of salt. And then reputable guys like Manuel Vafe, Tom Bogert, and Ben Jacobs confirmed the reports. And yesterday, Thomas Muller gave the "Here we go." The magic. Fabrizio Romano gave the "Here we go" on Thomas Muller. The magic words. Can you believe
Hearing
it?
it from Twillman, I didn't believe it. Sekeres and Price, them talking about it, I didn't believe it. Seeing Manuel and Tom talk about it,
you believe it.
I started to wonder. Those two guys have a lot of credibility, I would put it.
Oh, yeah, they're very credible, especially Tom.
Yeah.
And Tom's mustache.
It started to make sense in understanding that, he has Alphonso Davies that he can talk to in terms of what is it like to play in Vancouver. We know that apparently he got on the phone or somehow talked to Bastian Schweinsteiger, who spent time in Chicago. What is the league like? Yep. There's also the German connection with Axel Schuster, formerly working Schalke. With Mainz and Schalke. So the lines of communication were there. It was just a matter of, is this guy, basically a $10 million guy, if you want to convert it to, say, American dollars, what he was making with Bayern, is this something that's actually possible for the Whitecaps and the structure that they normally go for? Because you got to remember, the Whitecaps don't go for
the flashy names.
Stars. They don't. They look at young players. They bring in young players. They develop them, and then they try to hopefully have a core that way. But this is a different year. The Whitecaps. If
there was any year, the Whitecaps had to sign a European star, it's this one.
They're up for sale. They're also doing very, very well right now. I think also being a part of how far they got into the Champions Cup final, notwithstanding, did shine a spotlight on them.
Yeah, knocking out Messi's Inter Miami twice. In the semifinals.
And I don't know if it's true, but I do wonder how much the attraction of playing in MLS, but also being in Canada, matters right now.
I don't know.
You got to wonder if it might just be a little bit of a thing.
I would have to assume, this is my guess, by the way, I have no connections to this. My guess is that the political climate in the U.S. played a factor. But what we do know, what has come out, Manuel Vafe on his YouTube channel and his podcast, the Gegenpress Pod, this morning, he pretty much made a video talking about why Muller chose Vancouver. And the biggest factor was Jesper Sorensen. And Sorensen pretty much said, look, you're not coming here to be a marketing signing. You're here to be a big part of this team and help us take us to the next level and help us win it all. And he pretty much laid down a plan to Muller where he plans to use him and how to utilize his strengths.
Yeah.
Apparently, Axel Schuster, according to Manuel Vaith, was hesitant on it because of the discovery rights, which, Nathan wrote an article about that. You can check it out if you don't know what that is. But the MLS stepped in.
I went down that rabbit hole.
MLS stepped in and pretty much said they'd make it work. Now, normally, it just sounds ridiculous. The league will just say, hey, if you want to get this player, we can make it work for you. The league shouldn't do that. But it worked in the Whitecaps' favor.
The league, I would say more than any other league. Being an MLS, when you're looking at getting players, it's a weird catch-22 because you have so many roster structural restrictions, transfers restrictions. The rules require a PhD to understand them. I mean, how many times have you and I tried to explain to people we know how does it work?
Even execs and insiders don't fully know how it works.
Oh man, executives have other people that just basically follow them around. What are you allowed to do when it gets to players? But the league also is a big advocate for itself. I mean, you can't deny that. They're very, very big of saying we want players to play here. We want the best players to play here. And they will try to find ways to make it work. And I think MLS being like North American sports, a franchise-based system, does give them a little bit more license to be able to do that.
Yeah, and Whitecaps paid the $400K in GAM in discovery rights to FC Cincinnati. They've had Muller's discovery rights since they came into the league. Yeah, so well done to the FC Cincinnati Scouts for discovering Thomas Muller. And it turns out that was the final hurdle. And yeah, Muller will be a Vancouver Whitecap. Announcement and official signing is set for this Friday, August 1st. Muller, this morning, has posted a video of himself training by himself at the Bayern Munich facility. So it seems he's getting ready to make the move over across the pond, which he posted a video on his YouTube channel a few days ago, in a cowboy suit and everything, saying, well, 25 years
at
Bayern
Munich. He's not playing in Calgary.
He's like, 25 years at Bayern, done, but it's not over. Time to head across the pond, and he rides his horse. I do wonder.
Yeah, which we know that he has. So I guess I
do wonder if he's going to bring his horse over. And the Whitecaps can send up with a plot of land near UBC.
They can put it at the racetrack at Hastings as our first stamp at getting a new stadium over there.
Yeah, just put over there. Hey, we
claim this
land. City. This is a great place to pull the stadium. Hey, maybe that'll convince them. But you also might be wondering about Muller's squad number. 25 is taken by Ryan Gauld. 13, which he wore for Germany. Ralph Priso has it. 10 is retired in honor of Dominic Mobilio. So we don't know what it would be. It won't be revealed until, he officially holds up the shirt at his unveiling, which will hit like crack. But Manuel Vez said it's a surprise.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't care what number he wears. I just want him to wear the shirt.
Yeah, though it'll look, I don't know. Like, just for me, high numbers in football just irk me. I don't know why. Like 40, 30, 50. Nothing against Jeevan Badwal, but 59 just looks weird on a football baller.
I mean, I get it, especially when you look at the history of numbers when it comes specifically to football and how numbers translate to positions. You have other leagues, I think was in Mexico, where the numbers are actually regulated based on your position within the squad. And that goes all the way down to the youth players.
Yeah, that's why you see players with like 300.
I know, right? I mean, you got to wonder, like, how do you actually fit it in without wrapping it around the side of the body? It's like, getting some like those long Russian names on the back of a hockey shirt and it's down the shoulders.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about where we see Muller playing in this squad.
I'm going to bring up a little lineup creator I built.
He is going to have a very big role in this. There's been a lot of, I think, confusion about how is he going to fit, especially with a healthy Ryan Gauld. But I think they can really, really complement one another. Muller, he's not the fastest guy. He never was.
Never was.
Not
the most physical guy.
Never was. He's the smartest guy.
What made Muller so great was not his flashiness.
No.
Not scoring bangers. Was his tactical intelligence. And he's called the Räumdeiter for a reason, which basically means exploiter of space. Because his spatial awareness and his tactical awareness is what made him one of the best midfielders in the world. Because he is known for being at the right place, right time.
Yeah.
That's why he pretty much invented the term Räumdeiter.
Yeah, you're never going to play him at the front of the line. He's not meant to like take over for a Brian White. That's never going to be.
That's not happening.
But to play behind a guy like Brian White.
Yeah,
that's where I see him.
So if you read my article on Muller, here's the lineup I made. I messed up by putting Ahmed and Gauld on the wrong side. So
I already called you on that.
So this is basically what it would ideally look. And knowing Jesper Sorensen, he wouldn't be hesitant to use a 4-2-3-1. So Muller works best in behind the striker. At Bayern, he worked well in behind Lewandowski or Harry Kane.
Yeah. So I think I think if that's kind of the argument that was sold to him by Jesper, I think it's going to work out very, very well. You also got to remember that he didn't play a whole lot with Bayern this past season, right?
No,
minutes
least minutes of his career
starting there,
and he knew that his time was up there pretty much.
Yeah, as long as he keeps up his general fitness, his legs haven't been as taxed this past season as they would have been in other seasons. He's 35, and I got to admit, he's actually younger. Sorry?
He's going to be 36 in September.
Oh, okay. Well, he's actually younger than I thought he was. I thought he was hitting like 37, 38. I thought he was around that, like kind of like Messi and whatnot.
There was a joke on football Twitter not too long ago that Thomas Muller has been 32 since 2010.
Yeah, because
he's still 32.
Same. Well, that was also the joke that he's leaving Bayern Munich after 34 years, right?
Yeah, and I thought he'd die in a Bayern Munich shirt. But
honestly, you did wonder if he was going to retire in the shirt. I mean, how long he'd been up there. Did you see the picture? I think it was on AFTN that they brought up of when he was with the Bayern Munich U19s, how they actually played the old school Vancouver Whitecaps residency team.
Yeah, this is before the MLS
2007, I believe.
I think 2009. Let me just
maybe that was it.
Yeah,
it was before MLS either way.
Something's wrong with it.
But the joke is that the seed was sown that he was coming to Vancouver all the way back then.
Here's credit to AFTN for this. I don't know if y'all can see it, but
that's him in the middle.
Yep, and no, that's not Russell Tybert. With the throw in, as the City of Losers guy says.
There.
According to Michael, Caps residency played the Bayern Munich under-19s. Muller even looked 32 in this picture, in a friendly, losing 2-1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't understand the people saying that it won't be a fit, because the Whitecaps still need that attacking midfielder to replace Bedrovite. Yes, there's Kenji Cabrera, but he's more of a project. But if the Whitecaps want, to win now, which of course they do, go for the MLS Cup, this is the signing you make. It shows that you're serious. It shows that, this is not the Whitecaps of old. And best of all, you know what this does? As we mentioned earlier, attracts buyers for the new ownership. Could potentially plant the seeds for a new stadium. And of course, puts butts in seats at BC Place. So if you're planning to go to the game against Houston on the 17th of August, get your tickets now, as soon as possible.
The other thing I do want to mention is Ben Steiner, who writes with Sports Illustrated, in talking with their team in Germany, did a breakdown of what the salary is going to be for Mueller. So for this year, it will be a TAM deal at $687,000.
Yep, he's not going to be a DP until next year.
Next year will be a DP at $7.5 million.
Yep, here it is.
Yeah. And as far as I know, the contract goes until the end of that 2026 year.
Yep, it does.
I believe. Now, the Whitecaps routinely also usually do a club option. I don't know.
I don't think there will be a club option.
Honestly, the pen hasn't been signed yet, so we have to wait to see if that's going to really, really happen. But there you go.
Yeah, I figured this would be the case. A max TAM deal for this year, since the Whitecaps are using the 4 U22 U2 DP model this year, and then DP next season, and that shatters the highest paid Whitecaps record that Ryan Gault set with his $3 million plus salary. Yeah, Muller will be one of the highest paid players in MLS next season.
Yeah, it's not even max TAM, so good on them. The fact that they were able to get him for under 8, I think, is big. I mean,
it seems Muller really did want to come here. And of all the places he could have chose to end his career, he chose Vancouver, which makes it even more special. Good friend of the show, our guy Joshua Griffiths, asking how do we feel about Kenji Cabrera. Good signing. We talked about it last week. Strong at the lower body, can play midfield or wing. I see this guy switching with Muller if they choose to go to the 4-2-3-1, because Cabrera is also a guy that can play behind Brian White.
Yeah. The one thing about Cabrera
too.
is that he took a long time to develop with FBC and Melgar in Peru. But this year, he has really, really come into his own, starting the majority of the games and really becoming their playmaker on the left-hand side. Right-footed player on the left, can play either wing or in the midfield. Definitely see him as part of that midfield. Basically in a kind of a Pedro Vite role, just on the opposite side of the pitch.
I like he can play wing and cam. Which
I like that
nice.
too. Because definitely when it came to Vite, even though he was used in both areas, you knew where you wanted him. You wanted him in.
And Cabrera's more suited to the wing than Vite was.
Yeah. So I think it's an exciting signing. I think it's a signing that's he's gonna find game time, but he's not a finished product by any means.
Yeah. But for Muller, this is the biggest signing, not just in Vancouver Whitecaps history, but the biggest signing in Vancouver sports history. Muller is the biggest.
You to be the judge of that one.
Yeah, biggest athlete in Vancouver sports history. I mean, this guy is a global name, not just in Germany. A global name. Like, this guy has 15 million Instagram followers. I think that's more than all the 3 major Vancouver sports teams combined.
This is one of those players where he is known partially outside of his sport, right? Partially. People that might follow casually when the World Cup pops on. I mean, if you have any sort of history, you can go back to 2014, all that. He is one of those names where you're like, I've heard of that guy. He is going to bring in interest into Vancouver. What's going to be interesting is whether that interest becomes sustainable, right? You're going to see a lot of people at that game on August 17th. You're going to see a lot of people maybe for the next home game and the next one after that. What happens after that, I don't know, because Vancouver is an odd sports town, right? It's an odd sports town of immediacy, right?
Event town,
bandwagon town, whatever you want to call it, right?
I think, Muller's legacy in Vancouver would be, it shows that bigger names can come to Vancouver and helps grow the sport, not just here in Vancouver, but in Canada, especially with the World Cup next year. Got a global ambassador for the World Cup here in Canada. And he's a bigger name than the Sedin twins, Pavel Bure, Quinn Hughes, and all those Vancouver Canucks players, past and present. To all you hockey fans, football is the biggest sport in the world,
I would say he is a bigger name globally. Whether he's a bigger name Vancouver, Canada, that's going to be up for debate.
And this is bigger than when the Canucks signed that certain guy from St. Albert.
You mean the guy that just lived down the street from me?
Yeah, that guy. Who shall not be named. Another question from Joshua Griffith. Will we be at media on Friday for Muller? Of course we will. We will be there no matter what. What question do we have for him? We got a ton.
Oh my gosh.
I guess why Vancouver is the obvious one.
Yeah. What does he see as, the best way to utilize him underneath the Sorensen system? What does he make of the legacy that he left behind at Bayern? With
how
Germany?
Hard it was to leave Bayern.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
and also, you bring your horse.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got a chance, I'd definitely ask that.
There you go.
But I mean, it still doesn't feel real. And when he holds the Whitecaps jersey, when he plays, wearing the Whitecaps jersey, it still won't set in. Like, this is Thomas Muller, a guy that I grew up watching. One of my favorite players growing up, actually, outside of Chelsea. I remember for FIFA 14 career mode, I signed him for Chelsea, played him out of position, but it worked. But if you told me 10 years ago that Muller would be a Whitecap, I would have thought, no way.
There's not coming to Vancouver, right?
Not even a few weeks ago.
No, like I said, when we first heard the rumors at the All-Star game, you thought someone was, they were hotboxing their press box.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that, I was more like eyebrow raise, like Carlo Ancelotti, Lottie style.
It's one of those rumors where you're like, this doesn't even deserve to be repeated.
But
But
I thought about Taylor Twellman. He's really well connected.
he
And
is.
then Axel
I had
Schuster shot it
a
down.
chance to talk to him.
And then I was like, okay. But then when Bogert and Veth started tweeting that out, I was like, okay, this might be happening. Hold your horses. Don't get too excited yet. And then the more info came out, the more info I got, the very little. I was like, oh my God. This is actually happening.
Yes.
It's just for Vancouver sports, like not a lot of winning. And right now, like the Whitecaps need the publicity. They're having the best season of their MLS era, but unfortunately the Apple deal, hurts things for casuals. I don't expect any casual to pay up for Apple TV anyway, but hey, you can buy a ticket to see the Whitecaps and how good they are. And they have a global superstar, a former World Cup winner on the team now. Why not? That's Joshua Griffith are doing all the horse references in purpose, maybe. I didn't even realize that. Thanks to you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Yeah, Phil's BC Place and Canucks are in no man's land still. The Lions, unfortunately, I have no idea what's going on with them. They're losing games that I thought they'd win. The defense does not look good at all. No disrespect to the Canadians, but minor league team, and I heard things are going pretty well there. But yeah, the Whitecaps right now, they're the draw of the city. And Thomas Muller makes that a strong case. And it just, off the pitch now, him as a person, one of the most likable, funniest footballers you'll ever see or meet.
The statement on him is that he is an excellent teammate, which if you're going to be a player of his caliber, a player of his notoriety, being part of a team has to be very important and not making it all about you. I think that's very, very big. And especially when you're talking about the cohesiveness that's within the Whitecaps locker room, you don't want to disrupt that. You want to be able to add to it, to grow to it. This is the sort of guy that will do that.
He just fits in the glove like a glove in that locker room.
Yeah.
A locker room of togetherness, closeness. Everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
And you had Thomas Muller, a leader, a great teammate. And with all the young guys in that locker room, the perfect mentor, especially for the young midfielders like Priso and Bodwall.
Now, that being said, I really hope the Whitecaps aren't done. I still want to see a defender.
Yeah, at least one defender.
If they can get in at least one defender,
center back.
This is going to be a phenomenal transfer window.
Center back and left back, ideally.
I'd take one or the other.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be center back.
I would love a left back, but I do know
Laporta's done well on the left side.
Capable of deputizing over there. A center back.
I think that's more needed, especially with Ranko out for the year.
With Ranko out, you know what? I also do wish that we would see Bilal get a bit more time.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't hurt to sign one. Maybe sign one on loan. Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Whitecaps, obviously very, very good, but it's not the only big signing going on this transfer window. We do know that, and we're still waiting on whether or not LAFC will finally be able to get the signing of current Tottenham captain Son Heung-min over the line.
Yeah, and LAFC were in on Muller too, but they turned their attention to Son, and it seems, according to Tom Bogert, that things are progressing well.
Yeah, we do know that there's nothing going to be heard of this deal until partway through August. Son is contractually obligated to play friendlies for Tottenham that they have coming up during an Asian tour. One game, I believe, in Hong Kong, the other one in South Korea. They are contractually obligated to have Son in that South Korea game for obvious reasons. There's also going to be a number of appearances, around the country for Son and the rest of the team. But
media appearances, I assume. Yeah, and that's big for MLS too. That's big for LAFC. And you expect LAFC to be after names like that. Giroud didn't work
especially
out. Son will likely come in.
Of Giroud just leaving. They bring in a guy like Son who doesn't play as high up as someone like a Giroud. You play him on the opposite side of Bouanga. Yeah, I think he's a guy that would still fit in very, very well in this league.
Yeah, and
one of my favorite players of all time.
Oh, one of my favorite players of all time, and as well. Like it's a guy you can't hate.
No, not at all.
And big for MLS as well. And could you imagine Whitecaps LAFC in the playoffs again? Muller versus Son.
Yeah. There was, though, you were talking about the Muller possibility of going to LAFC. LAFC and Bayern Munich do have an agreement between the clubs, so there was always there was a possibility there. Did not manifest, which is good for us. The other club that LAFC, or one of many others that they do have an agreement with, is Grasshoppers, and they did get a player over the line. A
loan for Matthew Chouanier, Canadian international, former CF Montreal player. Talked about it a few weeks ago or last week that wasn't getting enough minutes at Grasshoppers and they nearly got relegated.
Yeah.
And just give the guy minutes. It would work well in that midfield. LAFC have a good midfield and Chouanier adds to that. Had to be LAFC, of course, but that's what they do.
Yeah, that they're capable of bringing in quality players. Matthew Chouanier is definitely one of them. Speaking of other Canadian men's national news,
that need minutes before the World Cup. Tajon Buchanan is signing for Villarreal permanently for around 9 million euros and a contract until 2030.
I like this.
Yeah, I like this too. Villarreal are in the Champions League next season, so we'll see him in the UCL. And
I think it's also just new scenery for Tajon Buchanan. The injury that he suffered really, really took him out of the lineup at Inter Milan. He could have fought for a spot, but it was going to be a very difficult spot to fight
Inter
for.
Milan.
Villarreal still allows him to play top level football. I think Spain will suit him as a player.
Apparently, he didn't do that bad
as Italy
on his loan there.
For someone like Buchanan, I think that's going to really benefit the player. I'm very, very happy for. The other one that is an odd one is Ishmael Kone. Sounds like he'll be heading over to newly promoted team Sassuolo from Serie B to Serie A in Italy. I don't know. Well, this is a team that's going to be fighting against relegation.
I just hope that he gets minutes and that he improves. That's all I'm hoping for Kone.
Yeah, I think this is a guy that needs
maturity on and off the pitch.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Because he and De Zerbi did not see eye to eye, but there's a clip that I put in my article last week. He nearly went after De Zerbi physically, which is a big red flag.
Yeah.
I just hope that on and off the pitch he matures and gets back to his Watford form.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that we definitely want because we'd love to see him back into that Canadian lineup, doing what we saw him do in previous years.
Yeah, because he's been overtaken by the likes of Chouanier.
Yes, he has.
And even Nico Seeger, who has played in the midfield. Let's see what happens with him, if he stays at Hajduk Split or not. To the women's side, former Canadian women's head coach, Bev Priestman, her ban from Dronegate is over. She has a new job. Head coach of Wellington Phoenix in New Zealand. And her opening press conference, she said she didn't feel safe in Canada after Dronegate due to the media frenzy, which I don't know if you want to call Rick Westhead a frenzy.
Yeah.
That's kind of stretching things. And that's
you had one guy that was really, really reporting on it very heavily from 3,000 kilometers away because he's in Toronto. Honestly, we knew that this was happening anyway. Bev Priestman's wife obviously works in football in New Zealand as well. So, and we the writing was on the wall. We knew that this was coming. Look, the ban is over. It is what it is. Hopefully she's learned a lesson, and hopefully she has a good career from here on out.
Hopefully, she can rebuild her career.
I think you and I have been critical of her comments even immediately after, where she started saying stuff about what was going on, about why she was banned that had nothing to do with the ban.
Yeah, and this comment just makes things weirder.
Yeah. Again, someone that it feels like she is her own worst enemy. So
Yeah,
hopefully
she can build her career down.
it turns out and works out well this time.
But back to Vancouver for women's football. The Vancouver Rise, 2 straight wins. 2-1 win over AFC Toronto. Wasn't the best start. Morgan McCaslin touch with the ball goes to her former WFC Academy teammate Kaylee Hunter, and Toronto are up 1-0 like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, McCaslin on the ball basically got surprised by the aggressiveness of the press of Toronto. Ball stolen from her, made it over to Hunter. Hunter easily slotted that in. It's one of those games where I think you could get very, very down on yourself very, very quickly. We were talking with Nikki Stanton after the game, and she said that was one of the big things was to come together as a team to let McCaslin know that they've got her back. To be able to come back in a game like this, especially against the team that is top in the league, speaks character of the team. I talked with Anya a few weeks ago, back when they had that 0-0 match before the break. I'm trying to remember who they were playing now. I want to say
Montreal.
The Roses. Yeah,
Montreal.
And it was weird because even though it was a 0-0 game, it felt like their best game. It felt like they were finally starting to understand what they were. And she was very, very big on that as well. I remember her saying, like, I saw my team finally. This has been just a continuation of that. One, it's a win that wasn't against Halifax. So that's
for the first time. I do keep forgetting the first game at BC plays against Calgary. So
yeah. But out of the 4 matches, 3 of their wins have been against Halifax. So getting this one against Toronto was very, very good. Also, I think we have to mention Samantha Chang. Grace, her first 2 goals
from distance,
and her first 2 goals in the league, and that second goal had no business going in the net.
That just fooled the Toronto goalkeeper.
I mean, honestly, you see Holly Ward on the opposite end of the pitch holding her arms aloft. Where's the pass? The shot is audacious, but the fact that it went in, confidence from Chang. That's what happens when things just go your way.
I think Chang too. She's been one of the Rise's best players over the past few weeks. I mean, confidence
she
again.
Had to really step in when Quinn and Stanton went down injured.
And now
Chang was also just coming off an injury that she kind of suffered at the very, very beginning of the season. So she had to build up match fitness as well. They have a very strong midfield with those 3 players. And you can also add in Longhurst that, fits in there as well. It's going to be interesting now that we're in kind of like the business end of the season. There's not that many games left. What can they do? Because this has moved them at the time had moved them into 3rd. I know there's been a few games in the league since. I'm not too sure if
4th now.
They're in 4th. You've got Toronto and you've got the Roses that are going to be playoff teams. And then your next is going to be between Ottawa, Vancouver, Calgary for the next 2 spots. Yeah. If Vancouver keeps doing what they're doing, I think they should believe that they are a playoff contending team.
Yeah, like 2 straight wins. That's gotta feel good and boost some confidence.
It's their first back-to-back wins ever.
Yeah, and Ottawa comes to town on Saturday.
Yep.
I'll see if I can be at that game. Last time these 2 teams played was a few months ago, but Rise lost 3-0 in Ottawa. And of course, Desiree Scott, former Canadian international, big name for Ottawa. So we'll see if the Rise could keep the momentum going.
All right, across the pond.
So not much happening for Chelsea, which is weird to say. But outgoings, I couldn't believe this happened. Al Nasser has hijacked Benfica for Joao Felix and paid Chelsea £40 million, which is more or less around the fee Chelsea paid Atletico Madrid for Joao Felix last summer. Now, if you add the loan fee, undisclosed, from AC Milan, profit of Joao Felix, a guy who barely played. And you know what? Chelsea are the best-selling club in the world. Once again. It feels like a coup. Thank you, Al Nasser. Thank you, Saudi Pro League. Thank you, Cristiano Ronaldo. So
the fact that they're willing to overinflate and pay for players like that, I mean, you can take advantage of it, fine. But Joao Felix, what a fall for this player. Like he just
never lived up to his potential anywhere.
No.
I feel like he never fit in anywhere. Like, to me, I think it all started because he left Benfica too early. One season there, and he went to Atletico Madrid. Didn't see eye to eye with Simeone for years there. Went to Chelsea on loan, and then went to Barcelona. Didn't really do much. Came back to Chelsea.
Simeone demands a certain work ethic and a certain athleticism from players, and he doesn't have either of those.
And Felix was just too inconsistent for club and country.
Yeah.
Just flashes and nothing else. Streets won't forget that cameo against Fulham before he got sent off back in 2023 when he first Chelsea stint. And Golden Boy winner now plays in the Saudi Pro League. Kind of sad to see, but
doesn't this just feel like Oscar when he went to China?
Yeah, but at least Oscar was good.
Yeah.
But Felix was just never that. And well, maybe Cristiano Ronaldo at Al Nassr whipped him into shape. I don't know, but just never really was the player he was meant to be. The idea of Joao Felix is better than what Joao Felix actually is. So thanks for the $40 million. And then they also sold academy forward Ish Samuel Smith to Strasbourg for $6.5 million fee. Pretty much Chelsea sold them to their sister club. And Chelsea have made £150 million in sales this summer.
Wow.
And that's not even including the big outgoings yet. So, best-selling club in the world. And to all those people
think about 17 goalkeepers in your first team, you have to sell.
Yeah. And no, Josh, we're not trashing Portugal. We're trashing Joao Felix. And by the way, Felix is like the fourth highest player on terms of cumulative transfer fees.
Yeah.
Behind Lukaku, Neymar, and Cristiano Ronaldo.
There you go.
So, profit for Chelsea. And looking to sell more players. Fulham want Kieran Dewsbury Hall, who ideally I'd like to keep as def, but if they can get a good fee, buy. Because there's Andre Santos and Romeo Lavia, even though he can't stay fit. And Fulham also want Raheem Sterling. Again, as I said last week, that'd be ideal for him, so he won't have to move his family. But Napoli, Chelsea have offered him to Napoli, saying, hey, want Sterling? We'll give you at a discounted price. But yeah, just get rid of this guy. Get rid of his $350K a week wage because he has no business at Chelsea right now.
Yeah.
But Ben Chilwell also in his big wages. Hard to sell. No offers yet. Still waiting. Hey, the Whitecaps need a left back. Maybe they can sign Chilwell, but no, that's not happening, folks.
We already have one left back on injury.
Yeah, and on bloated wages. No disrespect to Adekube, though.
No.
He's worth the wage when he's healthy. And then Nicholas Jackson with Alexander Isak heavily rumored to leave. More on him later. Been linked to Newcastle, which I think he'd do fine there. And Newcastle's losing everybody. And, of course, still Man United. And, of course, the Alejandro Garnacho links are still alive because, Man United really want to get rid of this guy, which I can't blame them. And, honestly, Maresca wants to play more attacking and possibly with 2 10s. You know what? If they can get Garnacho for a good price at def, why not? Maybe he can revive his career. I've pretty much come to the fact that Garnacho will most likely be a Chelsea player. And ideally, it'd be like a Sancho deal. Loan with an option to buy, and then they can pay Man United back $5 million if he doesn't work out. But you know what? Chelsea don't want to pay more than $30 million. So we'll see where that goes. I know, yeah, there's a plans to offer Mark Cucurella a new contract. He deserves it. From whipping boy to almost being sold to Man United to one of the best left backs in the world. What a redemption arc. Like, good on him. He never complained. He never moaned. He just stuck through it and did the work. That goes to show Cucurella's character. Oh yeah, incomings. The double Dutch signings. What's happening? Still ongoing. I'm not too worried. Calma. Hato rather seems close. Already agreed to personal terms. Fabrizio Romano says very close. Just working on add-ons and structure. At least 35 million pounds. And they're in advanced talks with Javi Simons. And one thing I forgot about with Simons is Chelsea had been scouting this guy since he was like 12, 13. So it feels like this was meant to be. So I'm not too worried. I'm confident they'll get this over the line sometime soon. And there's also discussions from Mark Guillou being loaned to Sunderland. So Morgan Gibbs-White is not happening for Tottenham, and it feels like Tottenham are gun-shy now when it comes to signings.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. We'll start earlier. Tottenham actually had 2 friendlies on the weekend, both on the same day. So they split their squad to play both of these. First one was against Wycombe, League One team, I believe.
Wycombe, yeah.
They had one of their academy guys in the goal, a few others kind of going back and forth, mixing in with some of the first teams. Ended up in a 2-2 draw. Sarr, playing higher up than he normally does, ended up getting the brace for Tottenham. So it was kind of interesting to see him playing basically where you'd see James Maddison play. Which is something a little bit unusual, but seemed to work. Other one was against Luton Town, and that one ended up 0-0. So the big one, though, is tomorrow, where they play Arsenal. First, I know it's a friendly, but North London Derby, first one for Thomas Frank. See what he does. I'm very, very curious. Other than that, yeah, it's just kind of wait and see. We heard that there could be interest in Spurs jumping into the whole Rodrigo situation.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That got squashed pretty fast. First of all, you'd be blowing their transfer record fee by about 30 million pounds above
and the wages.
What the record is. Yeah, I mean, it was just it was.
I wanted up at Chelsea, but he's not fitting in the wage structure.
No, it was just kind of a stupid rumor. They do still want an attacking player, though, especially with the uncertainty around Son, likely going to LAFC. They still need someone to come into that situation and take care of it. There is still the interest we talked about last week against Bayern Munich's João Polina.
Former Fulham.
Bayern are totally fine letting him go, and they're kind of going to let him go on the cheap for about 25 million pounds.
How much did they buy him for again?
I don't know, but in this market,
like 30, 40 million?
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
The thing is Polina wants to stay at Bayern Munich and fight for a spot. I can understand that. I can respect that, but Spurs really want someone to kind of anchor that defensive midfield. If he wants to play Champions League and still have that ability
and get more minutes,
Tottenham's an option, definitely. The loan for Mikey Moore is now done as of this morning. He will be joining Rangers. Good for him. He's going to play. He's going to play a lot for Rangers. I kind of wanted Mikey Moore to stick around. I think he could have fought for minutes in the first team with Tottenham. Obviously, he wouldn't be getting as much as he wants. With Rangers, the man will play. So good on him. This one was a really weird one. A possibility of a loan for Antonin Kinski to Lille. Now, the thing is Lille's goalkeeper is being targeted potentially. The name is escaping me right now. See if I got it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Basically, their goalkeeper's been targeted by PSG because Madura could be going to the Premier League.
Yeah, and he's been linked to Chelsea. I don't think that's happening.
No. I think he's also been linked. I want to say, isn't it Man United?
I don't think that's happening either.
Yeah. But if it happens, they're looking at Lille's goalkeeper, which then would trigger domino effect, I think that's where they're looking at a loan possibly for Kinski. Don't get me wrong; it would be great for Kinski to be able to play, but it leaves Tottenham without a backup. They would have no backup goalkeeper, so I don't see this happening. On top of it, this has already been quashed by media in the Czech Republic, obviously where Kinski is originally from. So I'm hoping that it is kind of just smoke, no fire. We'll have to wait and see. Bad news, new signing Kota Takai, the center back that Tottenham got from Japan, got a foot injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks. Likely going to miss the rest of preseason, possibly 1 or 2 weeks of the beginning of the season. So that sucks. This is a guy that they got very, very cheap. Well, it was only about £5 million, but a young center back, 19 years old, that they wanted to put in their starting lineup right away. So this one kind of hurts.
Yeah,
Other than
that's painful.
The other thing that is starting to be talked about is Harry Kane again. What is he going to do? There's a lot of rumors of him coming back to the Premier League. Now, it's not likely to happen this year. It's more likely to happen next summer. We know Man United still really, really wants him. Danny Levy keeps insisting that there is a buyback clause for Spurs to get him back on a much cheaper deal. We also know it's starting to be revealed that there is a clause within Harry Kane's contract that he could trigger as early as January, where it would allow him to sign for any other club with a transfer fee somewhere in the £50 million range. So, but it has to be player enacted. So if a team comes sniffing that he does want to go to, that could happen. Honestly, I don't know if he's going to want to leave Bayern.
I don't know either.
He finally started getting his trophies there.
I'd rather him stay there.
If he's not coming back to Spurs, I'd rather him stay there. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as new signings go, Tottenham it feels like hesitation right now.
You're shell shocked by Gibbs White. He signed a new deal with Nottingham Forest.
Exactly.
And speaking of signings and wanting everyone, Liverpool seem to want everyone, and much to their credit, props to them. Players want them. And I'm not going to say, oh, Liverpool is spending money, MFP, PSR. No. They're smart here because they're planning to sell players too. Luis Diaz is already at Bayern Munich. Darwin Núñez seems out the door. It seems like Konate could be sold too. And I think another reason why they're spending so much money, last few years, especially in the summer, they barely made any signings. Like last year, all they signed was Marmardashvili. And the year before, Endo. That's it. So they had a lot of money left over because every midfielder in the world was rejecting them. But now, it seems everybody wants them because they signed Hugo Itakike for that bloated fee. Now they want Alexander Isak, and Isak wants them. And they're going to be set to break their own record for transfers, which was set by Florian Wirtz a few weeks ago.
Well, especially that Diaz is now officially gone too.
Yeah, Bayern Munich, as I said.
Yeah.
And they are the likely destination for Rodrigo, should he choose to leave Real Madrid. And Mark Gay of Crystal Palace, former Chelsea Academy product, should Konate leave.
Still be in.
I wish Chelsea would sign him too, but I don't think they need another center back with Hato coming in.
Yeah.
But I got to hand it to Liverpool. I'm not complaining. I'm not even mad. That's impressive.
You know what? Liverpool's on top right now, and they're doing what they need to do to remain there. This is what a club should be doing. This is a club that Liverpool is not a club that wants to settle, and I can respect that.
Yeah, and they won the Premier League. They have a manager that's very likable tactically and as a person. And right now they're the favorites to win the Premier League. But
by a long shot, yeah.
But I think this year we can get a really exciting title race between them, City,
Although I
Arsenal,
will say,
and Chelsea.
Manchester City, Pep Guardiola showed up with a brand new mustache, so that's got to mean something, right?
And Ryan Sharkey and all the other signings they made. Pretty good too. But
I think it's the mustache.
If you're a Liverpool fan, you're over the moon.
Yeah.
And one last thing here. Morecambe, it seems like they're dead in the water.
So here's the thing. We talked last week about the United Kingdom officially passing or getting a royal assent on the bill to create an independent footballing regulator. This was supposed to make it much more difficult for football owners to do some of the wacky stuff that they have been doing, change a lot of the legacy things, the cultural aspects, also rules in terms of what it means to be an owner, and to make it much more restrictive in terms of the financial structure. Well, they're going to get tested because Morecambe, a club that just got relegated for the second time, and I think in about 3 years into the National League, has now suspended all football operations. So a few days ago, they were actually suspended by the league of all operations until August 20th, which meant no preseason games, and a bunch of their first games in the league, because their league starts up here in like a week and a half, were canceled. The reason being is they're not paying anyone. Players, first off, they're under a transfer embargo that's going to last, I think, for another year. The players, the staff, the coaches only got paid a third of their wages at their last pay period. Their coach is now gone. And this owner's been trying to sell the club for a while. Apparently, there is a group called the Punjab Warriors. It's a London-based sports investment company that's been trying to buy him for like a year. And they even released a statement saying, we're ready and willing if someone will talk to us. But now this club has suspended all football operations. They are basically dead in the water. And this is another club.
Their season starts soon, too. And those games are pretty much canceled.
This is another club and another city, another fan base that's going to – they're the ones that are going to lose. This is Bury. This is
Reading.
All over again.
Or Sheffield Wednesday.
Well,
in a way.
Still have a club, but we'll wait and see how long that lands. We can talk about Reading and all that stuff. This is going to be the first big test for what a regulator can do in England. Now, they might have got this over the line and it's just too late. I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty bad right now. Basically, first team players have now officially left the club and more players are set to leave by the end of the week. Not only is there no games, they're not even training. No, basically locks are on the door.
They're pretty much suspended all operations.
All operations.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of thing that a regulator is supposed to be able to protect. I don't know. It might be for Morecambe a little bit too little too late.
I don't want this club to die. I mean, I don't know much about them, but you can never want to see a club die.
They've been around a long time. Obviously, they had been in the National League before, but they had been back in the football leagues for 18 years. Had made it as high as League One. Not quite back to back. And as far as in 2021, they were actually in the League One playoffs.
Yep. Chelsea played them in the FA Cup as well.
So that shows you how far they've fallen since then, which has only been 4 years. Playoffs possibly to go up to the championship. Instead, two relegations.
Sad.
Yeah.
But we'll end it with, still processing. Thomas Muller is about to become a Vancouver Whitecap. I still can't. It's just bizarre in a good way that I can say that sentence. I can write that sentence. It's still unbelievable. It's, like that Meek Mill song. I used to pray for times like this. Just, I mean, again, credit to Axel Schuster, credit to Jesper Sorensen. The Whitecaps just come a long way since 2019, since they got those days.
Yeah. The 2010s were a bit of a dark period for the Whitecaps for more reasons than one.
And come a long way from the Robo years, too, and that dull football. To playing really exciting football under Jesper Sorensen and adding Thomas Muller to the mix. This team is cooking. Hopefully we'll get some more signings as well. We'll cover any of that. We'll have more Muller coverage on the website after his unveiling. We'll cover him as a Whitecap. And exciting times in Whitecaps land. Exciting times in Vancouver sports. And thank you for tuning in. 286 viewers, a record today for the live show. And I hope we get good numbers for the actual podcast when it comes out. I'm not too sure about the articles, but I'm sure Our views have gone up with Muller set to sign, and we're thankful for you tuning in. Thankful for covering the Whitecaps and all things football. Let the good times roll.
Yeah, succinct and good.
And pretty much now, MLS Cup or bust for the Vancouver Whitecaps. The bar is higher than ever before. So that'll conclude this week's episode. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Follow me on Twitter, Joshua00, Nathan and Derek. Podcast at Terminal City FC, also on Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube channel as well. Check out all our writing and any other content comes from others at the Area 51 Sports Network. Yeah, Muller Mania.
Yeah.
It's happening. That concludes this week's episode. Peace out.
Take care.